I respect Crawford. I think he's one caliber of a fighter, but we were in negotiation to fight. I think me and Crawford will definitely collide in the future for sure, 100%.
If you're one keeping up with the boxing world lately, you know that there is only one name in everyone's mouth, and that name is, yep, you know it, Terence Bud Crawford, the one and only. Now we know how every guy out there is calling Bud out. I mean, can you blame them? Bud is the prize fight. But hey, that's where the dream stops. If you want to make a good bag, then sure, come fight Crawford. But to think that one could defeat Crawford? Yeah, well, it's never been done before, and there's a reason why. But hey, things might change this time around, because no one was expecting this boxer to call Bud out. And let's just say, if there's a man who can take Crawford to the deep waters, it's him. And if you're wondering who that is, well, here it comes, guys. Tim has called Bud out for a pro bout. Yep, you heard that right. The Australian boxer is ready for all the smoke. His nasty call-out sent the entire fight world into a frenzy. The fans have absolutely lost it. But what's most shocking is what Terence Crawford said to him. Yep, that one's gonna knock your sock right off. So without further ado, let's take a deep dive into this drama. In an electrifying display of audacity, up-and-coming boxer Tim threw the gauntlet down to boxing giants Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford during the much-anticipated Thurman vs. Tim press conference. Let's be honest, none of us saw this one coming, did we? Tim's audacious call-out presents a fascinating prospect for boxing fans worldwide, and this call-out just might give him the chance to step into the ring with a big and established name. But is Crawford even interested in fighting him? Well, hear me out. There's no denying that Bud is the top dog of the fight world. You can't really have a conversation about the best boxers in the sport without bringing up his name, can you? He climbed the ladder after his epic win against Errol Spence Jr. in July 2023 and has been enjoying the top spot since then. And if Tim is getting his hopes high with putting up gloves against Terence Crawford, well, I have some bad news and good news for him all packed in this video. Let's start with the bad news, and here's the thing. Tim is an up-and-coming fighter with a lot left to prove in the ring before he gets a shot at fighting the best of the best. Come on. With Crawford being on everyone's hit list, you can't possibly expect a newbie to take the fight everyone in the fight world is seeking. That's what Bud thinks about this one too. This man wants some career-defining fights, and a match with Tim wouldn't be that at all. He calls fighting the newbie boxer doing charity work. You know, by giving him a chance and putting his name on the radar and all. And while Tim is making his way up there, he's still a long way from becoming a top dog in the sport. Get this. Tim, the son of boxing legend Tszyu Tim, is rapidly climbing the ranks of the super welterweight division. He has successfully established his dominance in Australia, and now he wants to sign up for some challenges by going against the best in the world to put himself into the global spotlight. The athlete said in a press conference, "No disrespect to anyone, within or beyond this room, but I believe I can match up with the best, including Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford," Tim remarked, displaying immense confidence in his abilities and future potential. He added, "There's no point in waiting around. I have what it takes to face them." The boxer has a series of victorious bouts that have positioned him as one of the top contenders in the 154th EB division. Now, both Crawford and Spence Jr. currently dominate the divisions above Tim, holding unified titles in the welterweight 147 EB category. This means Tim may have to move up a weight class to potentially meet either in the ring. And we all know that moving up weight classes is easier said than done. It's a challenge, and going up a division and fighting the champions is an even bigger challenge. While a fight with Crawford or Errol sounds like it'll make a lot of buzz in the fight world, Tim needs to focus on his upcoming fight with Keith Thurman. Oh yeah, these two are set to lock horns on March 30th at T-Mobile Arena. Tim will make his highly anticipated Las Vegas debut, and he's already feeling too confident about it. Get this, the athlete said, "I know what he's done, but his time has come. This is a different era. Let's not forget that this upcoming fight against Thurman will be a non-title bout, which some are saying could do wonders for both fighters." Tim's opponent is a 35-year-old former WBA and WBC welterweight champion who boasts an incredibly impressive 31 record. But hear me out. Keith Thurman has been kept out of the ring for multiple reasons since his last fight back in February 2022. Ring rust could prove to be a disadvantage for Thurman against someone as fresh as Tim, based on the recent shortcomings of Errol Spence Jr. and Stephen Fulton, but the fighter isn't lacking confidence coming into this bout. He said, "Tim's distinctive style provides the perfect stage for me to exhibit the relentless dedication I've poured into training, refining my skills, and fortifying my mental game. Ring rust is too big of a thing to ignore, though. Come on, being away from the ring for 2 years isn't going to do him any good, and if anything, it'll only be a major disadvantage in the ring." Back in 2019, legendary boxer Manny Pacquiao ended a 12-year undefeated run for Thurman by split decision, and since then we've only seen the American fight once. Before that, his incredible rise to the top of his division saw him become arguably one of the biggest names in world boxing. Does he still have all the pizzazz he once had? Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Experts are saying that it's difficult to see results besides Tim dominating and edging closer to his much-wanted bout against Jermell Charlo. Since Thurman has been inactive for 2 years, once he steps into the ring against Tim, and is 6 years older, there are plenty of factors that point towards a comprehensive victory for the Australian. ESPN writer Mike Coppinger explained that since Tim is such a dangerous puncher and has found a way to add some variety to his style, Thurman will be up against it when they come face to face. Well, this victory is going to take Tim places. Yeah, here's the good news. If Tim manages to come out on top against Keith with ease, then he might just prove himself enough to start negotiations with Terence Crawford. Yep, you heard that right. Tim might just need to get ready for his toughest fight to date. This guy Tim is coming off a big win beating Mendoza, Crawford's trainer Bernie Davis told Mill City Boxing. Tim has got the country behind him and has been looking good technically. He's been looking better every fight, and he's got the belt. I think that would be an ideal fight. We want to move up and still make history and still have something to get up for. Even though Boots, Jaron Ennis, is an attractive option, I think Tim is edging him just a little bit. He added, "Tim has fought the better competition, and I think he's been looking spectacular in his fights, and he has the country behind. It's another weight class to jump, and it's another thing to aspire to. That's where I think that we'll land, but the options are open." Now, coming from someone else, you might take these words with grains of salt, but it's Bud's trainer himself who said all these things. Davis also shut down the idea of Crawford jumping divisions to take on Teofimo Lopez or Devin Haney, with the likelihood of moving from welterweight to super welterweight to face Tim, the more enticing option. Tim wants this one bad, and the ballsy Australian won't step down if he gets the slightest chance to lock a fight with Crawford. "I'd welcome that fight with both hands," said an amped-up Tim to Fight Hub TV. "I'm not scared of anyone." Don't get me wrong though, this guy knows that fighting Crawford won't be a piece of cake. He said, "Crawford's very hard to beat, very hard to beat. When I see Charlo, I see a lot of gaps, a lot of holes, but Crawford, he's number one pound for pound for a reason." Well, I guess we will just have to wait and see how this one plays out. Terence needs to say yes to this one because the fighting world needs an answer. Bud can't stay out of the ring for too long, and he'll have to pick an opponent sooner or later. Fans think Tim might be a good choice for him, and his trainer thinks the same. So what are your opinions on Terence Crawford versus Tim? Make sure to let us know in the comments. So there you have it, Fight World. That's all I have for you today. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. I'll be back with more fight news. And until then, peace out.